Hi guys, good morning and welcome to this sixth live lesson. I wait just a couple of seconds, anybody to join this live lesson. I hope that you are morning people, so that you start studying in the early morning. So I hope that you are appreciating this very morning lesson. So I wait somebody to join. Good morning. I see that somebody is joining this live lesson. How are you guys? I hope that you are great. I first of all would like to welcome the new entries of the group that every week join our fantastic group. Unfortunately, I don't have the chance every time to write a personal message to every new student, but I take the occasion of this live lesson to welcome everybody. Can you please give me a feedback if you hear me properly? Okay. Good morning, Monica. Good morning, Nadia. Can you hear me properly? Is everything okay with the audio? Please give me a feedback so that I'm sure that I can start. So, did you celebrate Santa Lucia yesterday? Because in different parts of Italy, the 13th of December is an important date because it is a kind of announcement of the Christmas period. Personally, I do not celebrate Santa Lucia because I am not accustomed to do it, but maybe some of you celebrated it, so I hope that it was a great day and you started receiving some Christmas presents. So, okay, I just want to... It's perfect. Okay, good morning to Nadia, good morning Paolo, good morning Michaela, good morning Bernardo, and good morning Andrea. Okay, so guys, today, as you know, from the title of this live lesson, I would like to dedicate this half an hour time about the lexicon that we usually use when we talk about work. So I will create a concept map on the whiteboard that you see in my back, and I would like to provide you with specific vocabulary and expressions that we use when we talk about work in general. So first of all, I would like to test if you know the difference between job and work. Who knows the difference between these two words, job and work? Who knows? Let me see if somebody knows the difference between these two words. I wait a couple of seconds you to type the reply if you know. No one so far? Okay, so I provide the difference between these two words for you. A job is the word that we use in order to indicate the mental work. So a task that implies the use of a mental work. Whereas the word work is specifically related to something that is manually done. So this is mainly the difference. The job is what you mentally do, whereas the work is what you manually do. So I hope that the difference between these two words is clear. So when we are looking for a job, usually we use the word job because job implies a different tasks, compiti, tasks that are part of a job. When we look for a job, cercare, when we look for a job, the step number one is the application. So we apply, I changed the color, we apply for a job. So this is the step number one. We apply for a job. Ci candidiamo per un lavoro. Apply for a job. How do we apply for a job? We apply for a job sending what is called an application. So, apply for a job means send an application. Inviare una candidatura. In English, we have two different expressions, apply for a job or send an application. I would like the comments to... Okay, oh great. Nadia is writing, job is an occupation. Yes, let's say that job, of course, implies what you do, the task, the set of tasks that we do at work. So this is the main meaning of the word job, whereas work is the manual things that we do. So we said that the step number one is applying for a job or sending an application. Where do we send an application? We send an application usually to what is called the HR office, of a company. HR stands for Human Resources Office. So in Italian, l'ufficio delle risorse umane, Human Resources Office. So we send an application or we apply for a job, sending our application to the HR office. Usually the application can be composed of two different things. The first thing is the CV, also said in the American English resume, plus what is called the motivation letter or cover letter. So the cover letter or motivation letter is the letter that we write that usually can be can coincide with the text of the email that goes with the resume or the CV. And the aim of the motivation letter or cover letter is to tell the company we are applying for why we are the perfect candidate for that specific vacancy. Do you remember the word vacancy, the meaning? Who remembers the meaning of the word vacancy? Who remembers? What is a vacancy? Does it mean vacanza? Unfortunately, no. It is not our Italian vacanza, because the word vacancy is usually the free place that we have inside a company. So a place that a company wants to occupy looking for a new candidate. So we said that the step number one is the application. So we apply for a job. Our application can have two different results. The result number one, and the result 2. The result number 1 is that our application is accepted. Whereas the result number 2 is that our application is declined. So accepted, declined. So if our application is accepted, it means that the HR office wants to see us, wants to arrange an interview. Then I will write it down. Whereas the result 2 is that our application is declined, and so we have to look for another job, apply for another job in another company. In another kind of result, so the result number 3 is that our application is neglected. That is, again, a very negative result. Who knows the meaning of neglected? Is there somebody that knows the meaning of neglected? So the application can be, we said, accepted, declined, or neglected. What does it mean if our application is neglected? Who knows? Nobody? So if our application is neglected, it means that it is not considered. So the company doesn't give us any kind of feedback. So it is ignored. Ignored. Neglected means ignored. Okay. So far we saw which is the step number 1 when we apply for a job. So the results could be that the application is accepted, the application is declined, so maybe the HR office writes us, we are sorry, but your application has been declined, or we are very happy, we are satisfied to tell you that, we are glad to tell you that your application has been accepted. Or if we do not receive any kind of feedback, it means that our application is neglected, so ignored. Okay, so is this clear? Did you write down all the words that you didn't know before? Remember to write every time all the words that you didn't know. Otherwise, Otherwise, you do not keep in your mind the words that are very important to do. Okay, so I delete my whiteboard. And now we focus on the step number 2. Of course, the step number 2 takes place just if our application has been accepted. So if the application is accepted, so we have the application accepted, and we are very happy about this. If the application is accepted, usually the HR office, the human resource office, contact us in order to arrange a job interview. Arrange or schedule or plan a job interview means that the HR office writes us or calls us saying, we are glad to tell you that your application has been accepted, and so we would like to arrange, or we would like to schedule, or we would like to plan a job interview with you. So to arrange, schedule, or plan a job interview means pianificare un colloquio di lavoro. Pianificare un colloquio. In English, colloquio is translated with the word interview. Which are the two people, the two players of a job interview? The two players of the job interview are the player number 1. Player 1 is the interviewer. Whereas the player number 2 is the interviewee. Or, in other words, the candidate. And here, the interviewer could be, again, the HR employee. Or the, sorry, let's write the HR manager. il capo delle risorse umane, the person in charge to do the job interviews. So we said that once the application is accepted, we are called to arrange or schedule or plan a job interview. The two players of the job interview are, from one side, the interviewer or the HR manager. From the other side, there is the interviewee or the candidate. So the interviewer is intervistatore, whereas the interviewee is candidato. Okay? Is this clear? Again, unfortunately, I cannot see your comments now. I don't know what happens to Facebook, but I see that there are many comments, but I cannot see them. Let me see if I can see your comments here, because otherwise I cannot reply to your questions. Let me see. Okay, in the meantime, I give you the time to write down these words that are very important when we are talking about work and the steps. Okay, oh great. Now, okay, let me see. Clear. Oh, great, fantastic. Now I can see your comments. Ok, Berardo is writing qualche parola di italiano, ogni tanto fa piacere. Ok, Berardo, in fact I am translating in the meantime. Ok, so, intervistatore or HR manager, quindi il manager delle risorse umane, interviewee, candidato. Ok. So then in another lesson, I will focus on the difference between the suffix er or we. If you want to know the difference between these two suffixes, I inform you that on YouTube, there is a specific video dedicated on these two suffixes. So you can look for it on YouTube in my channel, Impara l'inglese con Monica. So this is what happens in the step number 2. Ah, sorry, I didn't write the step number 2. Step 2. Okay, so once we arrive at the job interview step, then the job interview again can have two different results. So the job interview we just remind that when we present at a job interview, we usually go with our CV, also called in American English resume, and with our motivation or cover letter. And also something that I didn't write before, that are called references. References are what in Italian are called referenze. So, for example, letters written by our previous bosses that are proving that we are great candidates. Okay, so the results of a job interview could be two, because from one side, you can succeed a job interview, or on the opposite side, you can fail a job interview. So if we succeed a job interview, we are very happy, because it means that the HR manager or the interviewer said us, okay, great, we want to take you to work in our company. On the opposite side, if we fail a job interview, it means that the HR office, the HR manager or the interviewer replies us, we are sorry, but you are not the candidate we are looking for. So these are the two results of a job interview: succeed a job interview or fail a job interview. Again, if we fail a job interview, we will go for another job. So we will start the search of a new job. But what does it happen if we succeed the job interview? So if we succeed the job interview, we start the step number 3. So I delete. Do not waste time and write. Take notes because these are words that can enlarge your vocabulary. Okay. So the step number 3 takes place if our job interview has a positive result. Okay, so what about the step number 3? The step number 3 means that we got the job. So we are very happy because the HR manager told us that we succeeded the job interview. Once we are in this step, the company does what in English is called with the verb to hire. So the company hires, I put the S because the company is the third person, hires the candidate. L'azienda assume, assumere, hires the candidate. And so the candidate, we can say that turns into, si trasforma, turns into an employee. Il candidato si trasforma in un dipendente. The candidate turns into an employee. Employee means dipendente. The employee is a person that does a job under the control of the employer. That is the boss. So the employer is the boss. So the person that controls the employee. Il dipendente, il datore di lavoro, employer, dipendente, employee. So these are the two main players that we can find in an office, in a specific or in a general kind of company, where there are these two main players, the employer and the employee. So for example, when in my case, in this specific time that I am lecturing a lesson to you, I am working by myself, I am the employer of myself. On the opposite side, when I teach at the university, I am an employee of the university because there is a person that asks me what to do, what to talk about during the lesson.
Se ti è piaciuto l'estratto di questa lezione, iscriviti al canale, attiva le notifiche, ma soprattutto, per saperne di più, clicca sul link in descrizione. Ci vediamo dall'altra parte!